Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of The World of K. I am your host and I hope that you guys are having a great start to your Monday. So, some of us today woke up with the sad news of Suli, I hope that I'm pronouncing her name right, who's a former member of FX under SM Entertainment. She was found dead. Apparently, she committed suicide. And one of the reasons that the reports are stating is because of she was suffering from severe depression. And I'm sure all of us around the world are aware of depression, or rather that there are different forms of depression and there are different causes to depression. And we see that in South Korea has a high suicide rate. And we've said this in one of our previous episodes that we did, that body shaming or any sort of negativity that is inflicted upon, a certain body, whether they're in entertainment or not, can cause some form of depression. And so South Korea has a high suicide rate. We are all aware of that because of so many, high standards that Korea pushes upon, their people. And we see that so much in the Korean education system, and so many of these students spending so many hours daily, leaving school at 10 p.m. Where I'm from, we end school around 3 p.m. the latest, unless you've got extracurricular activities, and you'll probably leave like 5 p.m. the latest. But in Korea, these students leave around 10 p.m. or even, later, unfortunately. So when it comes to K-pop, the only difference is that it's a different setting in the sense that it's not an education, it's more entertainment industry. And a lot of these Korean idols have to hold certain standards. Like we said in one of our previous episodes, that K-pop controls you. It controls how you look, the way you speak, everything you get controlled. And it has so many high standards. And as an idol, you receive pressure from your entertainment company, but you also receive pressure from the Korean society as well, because they expect you to be a certain way when you are in the public eye. And Suli is one person who herself has experienced a lot of backlash, from the internet, from many K-pop fans, supposedly K-pop fans. My problem with these people is that they don't see that what they do on social media is a negative impact. It impacts negatively on a certain person. It impacts that person negatively. And it can even cause depression. I myself have gone through experiences, not depression, but I've gone through anxiety because of certain things that people have said to me relating to whatever it is that they supposedly think is not up to a high standard. And I'm not even a celebrity. I'm just a normal human being. You are so highly scrutinized that it's very difficult to breathe. It's very difficult to be yourself. K-pop already makes you not be yourself because you have to ascribe to a certain image. How much more when you get so much pressures from other people as well, outside the entertainment industry, those who watch you, because now you're a public figure. And then you face cyberbullying. It's overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. It's overwhelming. We've seen many people fall victim to suicide. There's something that one person said in my class at school that I will never forget. She said, when somebody, dies due to suicide, they don't die because they committed suicide. They die because they fell victim of suicide. So it's not like that person deliberately wanted to kill themselves because they perhaps feel, like they just woke up one day and they thought they were just going to do it. No, it's because of pressures in society. You get so depressed, you get in such a dark place that, you feel like there's no point in living. And that is a very sad state to be. And as a person who's on social media, for you to contribute to somebody ending their lives, I don't know how as a person you can sit at home or wherever you are and feel like, no, you know what, it's just another normal day. I'm cool. I said what I said to so and so, and that's the end of it. That for me, I'll never be able to understand how a human being can go to another human being and degrade them and discriminate and insult them and act like everything is okay. I can never, ever, ever, ever comprehend that. Let's stop this whole thing of bullying people. Bullying can take various forms, and one of the forms is to say very insulting things to people. You have to be mindful of what people are going through. Just because you don't know someone doesn't mean that they're not going through something maybe in the background. Just because somebody's smiling does not mean that they are actually happy. So when you go to someone, make sure that you are careful with the words you use, because you don't know what that person is going through at home or wherever at school. And sometimes you say something and it triggers something in their minds and they end up, in a very dark place. We don't know Suli's life 100%. So we don't know whether she was 100% suffering from depression due to the cyberbullying, or maybe to the pressures that were also happening at SM. I'm not blaming SM per se, but we see that even in 2017, Jonghyun from SHINee, unfortunately, also fell victim to suicide. And then what happened? It was a very dark space in K-pop at that particular moment. Everybody was upset because of what had happened. It is very sad. And it's also even interesting in a very eerie way, the fact that Suli is also part of SM Entertainment. Again, I'm not blaming SM, but at the same time, you have to look at it from that angle. These companies put so much pressures on these idols. It is overwhelming. It is sad. So you as a K-pop fan, when you are on the internet, whether you are engaging with other K-pop fans or whether you are sending a message to a K-pop idol, be aware and be highly alert at what you're saying. Don't just say anything. Let us all be respectful for one another. Let us not become, because I personally believe that if someone goes to someone and says something that is disgusting and hurtful, and that person ends up falling into depression and ends up being a victim of suicide, you as that person who said something bad, you are also contributing. You are also have committed a crime one way or another, because you are responsible for that person dying. It is a very sad space for some fans right now who are fans of FX. I personally don't know FX that well, because I only started K-pop around 2015 in November. That's when I started getting into K-pop. So I don't know FX that well. But a lot of people who know FX, who maybe, Suli was their, bias, they are probably going through a sad space at this moment. There are many K-pop fans who are going through depression, and K-pop helps them. K-pop helps them to live another day, to find happiness in music, in different cultures. And so when their favorite idol is gone, imagine how shook and how sad they are at this particular moment. I saw something on Twitter. Someone was saying, you know what? Maybe if Suli was a fan of BTS, she wouldn't have died. How can you go on social media and say such a thing? Sometimes K-pop fans themselves can be very toxic. And a lot of these toxic people are children. Children ranging from the ages of 10 to 16. You'll be shocked. You think that they're home doing their homework, but they're online being bullies, and their parents don't even know this. It is sad, and it's disgusting. Let us respect one another. Let us be able to talk to one another in a respectful manner. Let us not insult one another. You don't know what the other person is going through. If somebody says something that you don't agree with, you can always say it in a respectable way. You don't need to attack somebody's looks or whatever. And if there is a certain idol that you don't like, maybe you felt like they were rude, then say that they were rude, but don't say it in a rude way. There are certain policies around the world that are put in place that are anti-cyberbullying. And if somebody catches you saying something online and they get a glimpse of a picture of you, or they're able to track your IP address, you will be charged. Regardless of how young you are, you need to learn how to be respectful around people. Whether they're celebrities or not, just because somebody is a celebrity, is a K-pop idol, does not mean that you own them. Yes, you pay money to go see them. Yes, you pay money to stream them, but you are not their keeper. You're not their controller. You're not their handler. You're just a fan, and it stays like that. You have no right to say bad things to other people. Korea has no regard for mental health at all. We've seen it in shows like Hello Counselor, where mental health issues are not taken seriously. YG is a perfect example who does not care about the mental health of his idols. Park Bom, who has a solo career now, she was a victim of mental health, or she still maybe is. She's recovering, I think. I feel like a lot of these idols, some of them you see them in interviews, or you see them in certain mini mukbangs, and they're busy drinking heavy amounts of alcohol. And you wonder to yourself, how do you get to that point? Yes, we understand Korea has a drinking culture, but to drink to that extent, something must be happening in their lives for them to drink like that. And it's not a space for us to criticize them and make fun of them and tag them on Twitter, tag them on Instagram, and attack them. Let us not become criminals. This is criminal and hooligan behavior for you as a person to go on social media and attack another person. And I hope that Suli's family gets, peace, and her colleagues and her fans, I hope that they get some type of peace and comfort in this dark time. And I hope that you guys who are listening as well, I hope that all is okay. If you are going through something yourself, I hope that you do find a support structure around you that can help you. Don't be afraid to speak out if something is bothering you. If you feel like you're in a dark space, you feel like you're not coping well, please reach out to someone, even if it's your friend. Reach out to someone, even if it's a teacher. Sometimes even talking to a random stranger, you'll be surprised how therapeutic it can be. Don't bottle things up inside. Speak out, reach out to someone. You'll be surprised how some people will be willing to help. It's just about you finding that strength to speak out. But just because you're going through pain right now does not mean you are not a strong person. You are a strong person. Human beings are emotional individuals or emotional creatures. We survive through our emotions one way or another. So just because you are feeling down and you're feeling sad and you feel like crying and you're feeling depressed does not mean you are weak at all. No, you are not weak. Don't ever think like that about yourself. Just making you guys aware that you need to be careful what you say to other people. Let us respect one another. Let's love one another. And I'll see you guys in. Bye.